I think we got to do two things. One is continue to do everything that we need in the present war-fighting theater, so in Iraq and Afghanistan, and that includes continuing to evolve better armor systems, more precision munitions that gives less collateral damage in this, and that's important in this war against terror, where you may have a house full of terrorists in an urban area, and it may be next door to a civilian community. So you've got to have precision capability to fight them without having a lot of collateral damage. So doing things that are focused on the current war-fighting theater and the war against terrorism. But on the other hand, we need to look over the horizon and look at future threats. And what I think we need, where I think we need to emphasize development is undersea warfare, because China is developing anti-ship missile capability, which is significant, which could be a threat to our surface fleet. And overhead surveillance is becoming more sophisticated, satellite surveillance. So surface forces are becoming more and more susceptible to precision strikes. So developing more undersea strength, maintaining our lead in space, and China on January 11th shot a satellite down. They did an ASAT test. That heralded a new era of military competition in space between the United States and China, whether we want to or not, because that presumably you don't practice shooting your own satellites out of space, although they use their own for the target. But our eyes largely are in space, military eyes, and a good deal of our economy is based on space assets. So having the ability to get satellites back up upon the destruction of one or a number is an important. It's going to be a requirement for future military apparatus. So I would say having a strong space capability, having a strong anti-missile capability is important. It's clear now we live in an age of missiles, and just as Billy Mitchell came back and warned us that we were moving into the age of air power in the 1920s, and we court-martialed him for his impudence. We're living in an age of missiles, and a number of nations, as you know, are building missile capability that is developing greater ranges, which will be at some point a threat to the United States, either in terms of a terrorist strike or in terms of a nation-state strike. So it's not a complicated thing to add stages to missiles to increase ranges. So when North Korea threw that little batch of missiles out into the South China Sea or into the Sea of Japan, they had a few Scuds and they had one long-range system. It was a TD-2 missile. At some point, those will be able to reach fairly large portions of the United States. You have to have the ability to shoot those down.